There used to be a time when the village raised the child. More recently, we have been seduced into believing that urbanization, institutionalization, and globalization are inevitable. What that has done to our children is horrifying. By urbanizing as rapidly as we have ended up with children who have no space, no place to play in, no place to walk around, no place to laugh in, none of those. By institutionalizing, we have created the impression in the minds of our parents that the only learning worth anything is the one that is available in institutions such as schools or preschool centers and so on. Value of what children learned in communities by being together, by being with adults who are affectionate and supportive, that has been forgotten.
In many countries across Asia and Africa, there are millions of young children need a safe place to stay while their parents come to work in the factory or in the other companies. And so in this case, home-based care center becomes the solution for millions of young children.
I envision childcare that is central to any country's human capital development. I am aware, of course, that there are all kinds of concerns around the term human capital development. But I think if we are to look at it this way, that whichever way we look at it, we all start as infants. We all start at that point. And the kind of support we get is central to how we develop later in our lives.
I hope that some of the work that we've started today, looking at the childcare system, will result in, firstly, universal coverage of access to childcare, a deep appreciation of childcare as a critical success factor for country economic development. We need to go beyond being specific on what models of delivery of childcare have to be promoted.
So childcare sector as a whole, kind of growing that sector in a way that is meaningful and very sensitive towards keeping the children at the center of it is extremely important. It has many different multiplier effect, as we call it, like it keeping your child safe and in an environment which helps him or her grow.
We believe in taking a systems approach to improve childcare. We recognize it's a universal everywhere in all countries, but we also recognize that there isn't any one system and that context matters.
System approaches which would be instrumental in building collective clarity among stakeholders on sustainable ways of building childcare ecosystems that work for children, that work for families, and that work for societies.
Childcare is one of the most fundamental areas of work that we can do in our individual families as well as in our communities and society. And let's give women the recognition that they deserve. Childcare is extremely important for all families, for communities, for societies, and women have done it, and women are doing it, and women will do it. But let's give the recognition to them. And so we hope that with this childcare movement, we will be able to give that dignity to all the work with children that women do.
Now policymakers are coming across the table and want to have a discussion around care and about women's workforce participation. But at the same point of time, in terms of funding and coming in of private players is something that probably will not be avoided in the coming future.
And childcare offers us a strong entry point to make sure that governments, the private sector, the development community, and other stakeholders, civil society, we support the growth of our children in a safe, supportive environment.
Global commitment of leaders, corporations, funders and philanthropists, global networks have to all come together towards this one mission of putting the money where their mouth is. If care economy is big, if childcare is now understood as an enabler for economic prosperity, show us your commitment by putting in adequate financing for childcare.
But the goal is always to have equitable, convenient, age-appropriate childcare for all children.
So, I would hope that in the next decade or so, when we think of childcare, we will always think of children who are thriving in play and, who are getting so much love from their care providers and, who of course also get a lot of, care and attention.
My hope for the future is that the village will meet the children again, that we'll be able to reclaim the spaces, we'll be able to reclaim the value of the community as a crucible in which childcare takes place, that we'll be able to recognize the importance that other human beings who are supportive and caring and around in meaningful ways play in the life of a child.